Verse 434. It is taught that from the Dharma Buddha comes the Nishyanda, and from the Nishyanda the Nirmita. These are the original Buddhas. The rest are transformed Buddhas. We've got a few technical terms here. Dharma Buddha, Nishyanda, and the Nirmita. And in his companion volume to the translation of the Lankavatara Sutra, Professor Suzuki looks at these terms in some detail, and he sees them as prototypes for the later development of a doctrine known as the triple body, the three bodies of the Buddha. And there's actually a video devoted to the three bodies of the Buddha, video number 38. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can have a look at the companion volume, Studies in the Lankavatara Sutra, and you'll find plenty of stuff there. But really here, in this series of videos, and I would suggest in the Sagatikam, these verses that we're studying, what we're interested in is the practical application. The practical application. What, in our experience, is the Dharma Buddha, the Nishyanda, the Nirmita? And there's a context here. The context is the previous verse, where we again had a threefold process, call it a process maybe, of the chitta, the manas, and the vijnanas. And I'm going to suggest that this is a further development of what was spoken of in the previous verse and in the previous video, so you might want to go back and watch the previous video before proceeding with this one. In this verse we're addressing our situation once again, our ordinary situation, one which we seek to get the deepest possible perspective on, the deepest possible awareness with respect to. And this deepest possible awareness, this most fundamental level of awareness, is what we can understand as the Dharma Buddha. It's the body of truth. It's where we are coming from essentially, but we've lost sight of it. We've lost sight of it because it doesn't sit still. It was described in the previous verse as a dancer. It moves away from itself, and it moves away from itself in the form of the attention. There's awareness in a very broad general sense, but then awareness focuses. It focuses on aspects, on things, mental things or physical things. And it goes out. It goes out. It's an emanation. And this is what the Nishyanda is. The Nishyanda. It's a pouring forth. Now when I talk about the attention and awareness, it seems rather dry. But in keeping with the spirit of the previous verse, there's a dance going on. And in fact, this Nishyanda is supposed to be seated in heavenly bliss. This is the joy of the dance. Bringing it down to rather possibly trite terms, it's like the kid in the candy shop. It's like the kid in the candy shop. This wonderful display of sweets. How exciting, how wonderful, how blissful. This is the situation of the attention, of awareness. It's in this pouring out what I've called the superabundant flow. All of creation. It's a giant candy shop. And where the attention is drawn here, it's drawn there, it's vibrant, it's wonderful. And like the kid in the candy shop, it goes for it. It goes for a bit of this, I'll have some of that, no, I'll have some of that, I'll have some of that, and some of that. And what happens? The kid not only is going to get very sick, but it's going to get quite confused. And this is the Nirmita. This is the body that confronts pain. So this is how it is. And this is where we come in. Because we're the kids that have damaged ourselves in the candy shop. We're sick, in pain, perhaps physically, almost certainly psychologically. So this is the situation, and we can backtrack. We're told that these are the original Buddhas. These are the original factors of existence. And by appreciating these factors, we can go in the reverse direction. We say, enough candy. It's there, but I'm not interested anymore. Withdraw the attention back. Withdraw it back. Come back to the original nature. Our essential awareness once again. Our essential, vibrant sense of being. So we're told these are the original Buddhas and the rest are transformed bodies. So we can understand this as the core understanding. But the term transformed bodies normally refers to the idea of the Bodhisattva, or the Buddha, who appears to those who are suffering in different situations and applies a teaching suitable to their situation, suitable to their mentality. It's a nice idea, and if you can get some mileage from that, fair enough. But what I think it really means on a practical level is there's always an opportunity to practice. No matter how bad our situation appears to be, we can practice these teachings. Remind ourselves. And if you're not sure what to practice, and if you've got some connection with the teachings as presented in these videos, then play another video. There's plenty of them. Doesn't matter if it's one you haven't heard or one that you've heard. The purpose of these videos is to remind us, to remind me, and hopefully anybody that's been following these videos is managing to tune into something, is managing to remember. Anybody that's following these teachings is hopefully managing to come back to that central, essential, fundamental awareness. So, there's always an opportunity, no matter how much we want to indulge in our own suffering. We don't want to practice, and if we don't want to practice, it's quite possible we've forgotten it, and our practice has become something routine, and something's missing. It's not fresh anymore. So we need to freshen it up. Look deeply once again. On a personal level, I've got a great deal going on at the moment. Not obvious perhaps on the surface, but there's a lot going on both physically and mentally. I'm at rather a nervous edge. I could probably do with a holiday actually. And my body seems to be locking up once again. I feel quite stressed, and I'm engaged in this email interchange with a hardcore academic. Nothing to do with these teachings, it's to do with music, funnily enough. I feel obliged to enter into this. It's mentally exhausting, although it's quite interesting, I suppose, but I'd rather be directing my mind to other things. And in fact, I didn't even want to record this video this morning, but I could see what's happening, and it's important to get everything in perspective, and recording this video helps get it into perspective once again. Although I'm going to have to go and write another email very shortly. So there's always a possibility to practice, even if it's just a matter of touching base, touching home for a few moments. So let's keep it fresh, and let's remember the bliss. We can remember the joy of the kid in the candy shop, but there's an even greater joy, an even greater bliss in not being taken in by any of it. Isn't that wonderful, you think? Because all that joy of the kid in the candy shop is being projected out from him or her onto the candy. It's coming from the kid. It's not coming from the candy. So let's come back to that pure, expansive, irrepressible joy.